today I will talk about the chapter number 5 and 6. The chapter number 5 talk about the main topic of the old chapter is audience analysis. And what is audience analysis? Audience analysis is is the process of getting information about the people in your audience, so that you can understand their needs, expectations, beliefs, averages, and likely opinions. It's important that you understand what your audience needs, and it's important that you have a connection with your audience. And in the chapter number 5, you examining some factors, some reasons that is important that you know for improve your speaker, for you are a better speaker and connected with your audience. And the first factor is choose a worthwhile topic. Your selection of the topic should reflect your regard for the audience. There is not a universal list to bad topics or good topics, but you have the ethical responsibility to select a topic that will be worth listening to. Have you considered the audience to not want to waste to their time of attention listening to a speech that is simple too? It's important that you choose interesting topic for your audience, because if you don't consider this, your speech is bad. And other is clarify. At the moment that you give a speech, it's important that you have a simple language, a simple vocabulary, because if you said words that is not common, your audience then understand your speech and you failing in your presentation. The booklet said that nothing is more lamentable than a rhetorical actor who endeavors to make a grandiosing the expressions of others. And this is about that I say you that you need to use a simple vocabulary and no strange words or a strange expression. And other is adapt your speech to the audience needs. I think that is the most difficult factors, because you need to adapt your speech for different types of audience, and you need to when you're preparing your speech for a classroom audience consisting of students and a professor, you need to adapt the speech for a classroom. Um, and consider audience diversity. Not all audience is same. Exists different types of audience, different um, characteristics in the audience, and it is important that you consider that. And you need to consider your religion, your culture, the the things that most likely the age is important factor, because you don't have the same speech the kids of the person that have a 20 or a or 30 years. It's not the same information for this type of people. And the chapter number 6 is I think that is in a relation of the principal the I think that is the beginning of the chapter 5. Is finding a purpose and selecting a topic. Said finding your purpose is important that you have this clear in your mind, because you are the speaker and you give the speech, and you need to know what is the purpose of this speech. If it's I don't know, the perspective of informative speech, you need to have this point clear. One of the most general purpose of the speech is to inform. Say that first general purpose of the speech that some people have for giving a speech is to inform. That is the main purpose of the speech. This is about helping audience members acquire information that they don't really possess. For example, if you have you give a speech of contamination of the I don't know, the history of Guatemala, of whatever, the audience learn about this information. Maybe they know nothing about the topic, but when your speech, you inform of these people to about this topic, and say that the most important characteristic of informative topics is the goal to gain knowledge. This is that I say you that one of purpose is the audience know about this topic. And in the booklet explained that 6 general types of informative speech: object, people, events, concept, process, and issues. And the first is informative speech relative to object. For example, if you explain about the plastic, you in the booklet have an example of the student that have a presentation about designs one thing, and he explained with one object, And the second type of informative speech is focuses on the people. People based in speech and individual achievement and tend to biography orient. And the three type of informative speech involves explaining the significance of specific events, either historical or contemporary. Um, and the fourth type says that involve um, concepts or abstract and difficult ideas ideas or theories. And the fifth type involves a process. The processes speech can be divided into two unique types. The final type is of informative speech involves issues. What is the issues? The other name of this type is problems of matters of dispute. And this informative speech topics is probably the most difficult for novice public speaking because it requires walking a fine line between informating and persuading because it's about the issue. And normally or typically you have only one of this type of topics of the informative or the persuading, but in this case you have that two betweens in only one, and is the most difficult in these six or there of types. And I think that the two chapters have important points for the speaker because in the first you analyze your audience, what is the of different factors do you connect for in your audience for you give better speech. And in the sixth you have the factors to improve the content, the information in your speech. And that is all, and thank you for your attention.